Good morning, students. Today, in this lecture, we will study about the basics of transistors. So, first of all, we have seen about the what about the transistors, and we also called transistor as a bipolar junction transistor. So, what about the basic reason behind calling it as a bipolar junction transistor? So, first of all, we have to see bipolar means there are two types of holes and electrons that will be responsible for current flowing. So that is the bipolarity signals, that is the holes and electrons. So due to this we call it as a bipolar. What about the junction? And third one is the transistor. And we also called it as a there is a two types of junctions. One junction is a emitter junctions and another one is the collector junction. So there is also a two junction devices and third one is called transistor. That is the meaning of transfer of resistors. Basically, we can also call it as a tri-terminal devices. So that is three terminal devices. So transistor, or it is also a transfer of resistor. Means since there are two junctions, first one is the emitter junction and second one is the collector junction. So our emitter junction will be forward bias and collector junction will be reverse bias. So what is the property of our forward biasing junction? If we forward bias any type of diode, the resistance offered by that particular junction will be very low, and if junction is reverse biased, so now what will happen, that particular the resistance offered by that particular reverse biased junction is the very high. So this is basically a transfer of resistance from low resistance to high resistance. Our holes or electrons are start to move from emitter to collector junction. So this is the basic definition of our bipolar junction transistor. And in this control of that is basically two terminal currents hai. So what type of input signal we are supplying for our emitter sections, that will be controlled at the collector terminals. So this is basically transistor is a device, semiconductor device that is used to amplify any type of signals, or it is also work as a switch in our electronic circuitry. Transistor are basically a very important device for any type of electronic circuitry part. It is basically composed of semiconductor materials, usually with at least three terminals for connection to external. Means if we are using a transistor, we have at least three terminals for connecting it to the any other devices. Now we will again move to the voltage or current applied to one pair of transistor terminal control. So that is same thing what we have to told you, that if we are applying the current or voltage input to the input of our circuit, that is a emitter junction, that will be controlled by the another part with the another type of outside controlling is done by the collector terminal. So because of control power can be higher. So what type of if you have given any type of input signal, that will be controlled, and that controlled output power will be the high with respect to the input signal. So we can call it as a transistor is work as a amplifier. Now again we will see the basic revision of our PN junction diode. So now what will happens in our PN junction diode? The PN junction diode can be either forward bias and it will be the reverse bias. So first of all, we will recall how our PN junction will work as a forward bias and how it will work as a reverse bias. So first of all, we will see here, that is if we forward bias this PN junction. So now what will happen? PN junction, the depletion layer width. Okay. So what about the depletion layer width? When P and N type materials are combined, so due to movement of holes and electrons, there may be a formation of a depletion layer, and that width of depletion layer will work as a barrier for further movement of holes and electrons. So when we forward bias this PN junction, this depletion layer width will be reduces, and due to this reduction, the holes from P side start moving, process the barrier and move to the N region, and thus flow of holes are started in our PN diode. So that is the basic reason. So this is the basic characteristics graph of our forward bias current. At initially, there is a small amount of current will flow, because further some amount of current, some amount of voltage will be consumed for overcoming the barrier voltage, and after then our current will be increases extremely. What will happens in reverse bias? If when you reverse bias your diode, the depletion layer width will be rises. So what will happens? The electrons and holes are moving away from the depletion layer. So as we have seen in our graph, very small amount of current will flow here. So now what will happens here? Very small current. Why these are flowing? Because these currents are due to the minority carriers. Means when we apply the reverse voltage across a diode, so now what will happen at that particular place? This reverse bias will work as a forward bias for our minority carriers, and due to this very small amount of current will flow, and after certain time, if we are increasing our reverse voltage very high voltage, there may be sudden breakdown and large amount of current will flow. So this is a very slight recall of our diode, and based on this diode, now we are moving to the same thing is here, forward bias. We are moving to the transistor. So what is about the basic transistor? So that we have seen here, that is the emitter, base and collector terminals. Three terminals are here, and in these three terminals there are three types of currents: emitter current, base current and collector current. Same thing is happens in NPN type transistor, because P and P. So as we have seen that two P type materials and one single N type material, we can also reverse here. We can take the two N type materials and one P type material for making a transistor. And transistor is basically, so what we have to done, N-type material will sandwich between two P-type materials, or P-type material is sandwiched between two N-type materials. So it depends what type of transistors you are starting to design. So here we have to see there is a emitter, there is a base terminal and there is a collector terminal. I have also seen here. Now what will happens? IE. What about the IE? IE is emitter. Emitter is the start. Okay, it emits the current, or it emits the flow of holes or electrons. So that is the responsible for IE, and these IE current will process to the and reaches to the collector terminal. So now what will happen when this IE reaches to the base terminal? There may be some electrons or holes. So what will happen here? Since our emitter terminal is the P type, so what will be the charges of there? There will be the holes, and these holes are started to moving. And since N type base, so base is the N type, so there may be majority carriers will be electrons. So what will happen at the base? Some holes are recombined with the electrons, and now remaining holes are reaches to the collector terminal. So now what will happen? Small amount of base current is remaining in the base terminal. So not complete all holes from emitter to reach to the collector terminal. Some amount of holes are consumed or recombined with the electron. So this is the basic process. So here we can apply the KCL, Kirchhoff's current law. So according to Kirchhoff's current law, IE is equal to IB plus IC. So that is a basic law which we'll apply. Now here we can also apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law. Means complete emitter to collector voltage, that is equal to emitter to base voltage plus base to collector voltage. So here both the rules, Kirchhoff's current law and Kirchhoff voltage law, will be satisfied. Now we will see what is the basic construction features of our emitter. So all things what we have to discuss is that is the basically layers. You can again see in this diagram there is a emitter, base and collector. So now what will happen? Emitter is a size is medium size. If you are talking about the base, it is very thin. And what about the collector? It is a very wide length of our collector. So why we are designing, why we are changing the length of this way? So there is a certain reasons behind this. So what is the reason? We have done the high doping in the emitter side, because it have to emit the, or it will generate the holes or electrons. So here is the high doping. What will happen the N type semiconductor materials when we are taking the PNP transistor? So in N type semiconductor material will make the base of the transistor, and in base of transistor we have done the very low doping, because we don't want that major part of your ammeter current will consume in the base. So we put the doping of our base region very low, and width of base will be very thin, so that all the currents starting from ammeter will reach out to the collector current, and only a very small part will be consumed in the base. So if we are doing the low doping, so there are number of free electrons will be less, and due to thin widths, that ammeter current will be easily crosses to the base area, and it will be fastly reaches to the collector terminal. So this is the reason why we will make the base very thin and low doped with low doped materials. Same thing is happen in NPN transistor. Here is the P-type material. It will be remaining to the low doping, and it will also make to the thin part. And the arrow of this symbol. So these are the two symbols of our transistors. So now what will happens here? Here is the that is the direction of current, and this is also. So what will these arrow will show the direction of your current. This is the basically symbol of our PNP and NPN transistor. Now one thing is happen why we make the collector current width so high, because the base to collector junctions will be reverse bias, and due to reverse bias here large amount of heat will be generated at the reverse bias junction. So due to this heat there may be some due to remaining the transistor for destroying from the high heat, the collector area we have made wider, so that heat can be easily dissipated, and our transistor can be safe from overheating of that particular reasons. So this is the reasons why we make the collector terminal wider. So this is the reason collector collects the charges from coming from the ammeter side, and this is the basically if we are talking about the base region, the width of base region is generally 1 micrometer in model transistor. So this is the reason why we are designing our transistor in. So by using this technique, or by designing in such a way, we can make a transistor as a good amplifier. We can make our transistor by overheating, and we can design a proper device. So first of all, when we are constructing a transistor, so that construction point of view, we have to remaining certain features in keep in mind. In this way we have to make our transistor. Now move to the biasing. So there is also again a certain points when we have to keep in this way we have to bias our transistor, that it can work as a amplifier, or it can work as a switch, closed switch or open switch. So that is the reason. So now we will switch to the biasing. So what about the biasing? So transistor can be considered as a basically 2 p-n junction. So if you are talking instead of taking a single, we can also consider as a 2 p-n junction, and there are two junctions. Okay, so two diodes are connected back to back, and by connecting back to back it will make a transistor, and it will make a three terminal device. So now what will happens there, when we are talking about the base to ammeter junction, it will be forward bias, and when we are talking about the base to collector junction, it will be reverse bias. So this is a very basic feature, ki one junction should be forward bias and one junction should be reverse bias for working in a active mode. So again it is found also कि when current is made to flow in base current junction, large current flow in the collector circuit, because base collector junction is reverse bias. So after this we can make a such a arrangement that we can receive a large current at the output circuit. So this is the points which we have to remember. So this is the way our current are started from this ammeter point. Very small part are consumed in the base part, and major part will be reaches to the collector terminal. This is the thing. So we have to make arrangement. Again, we have to discuss about the biasing. We have provide external biasing to our transistor. Either forward or reverse voltage is done to the ammeter and collector junction. So what will happens? Okay, we are saying that ammeter junction should be forward bias and collector junction should be reverse bias, but now what will happen, any type of biasing can be done. So now what will happens, due to this arrangement of biasing, we have to divide. Our transistor will work in a three regions: active region, saturation region, and cutoff region. So now we will see here what is the here. We have two types of junctions in transistor. First one is the emitter junction, second one is the collector junction. So reason of operation, if you have done the forward bias both the junction, so now what will happens there? Saturation region, transistor will work in a saturation region. In further slides we will see how it will work in a saturation region. When emitter junction is forward bias and collector junction is reverse bias, then your transistor is work in a active region. And when both the junctions are reverse bias, emitter junction and collector junction, your transistor will work in the cutoff region. So this is the reason why our transistor is working in three regions. So first of all, that is the reason the current flow from the base terminal, base emitter junction, and it have to reach out to the collector junction. So we have to done, so doping in this kept low. So you have to done the proper doping, proper shape, and that we can receive this. So first of all, that is the three reasons. Now we have see the active reason. One by one we will take the one reasons and we will explain in details. So what about the active reasons? This is the reason in which transistor have many applications. Active region is a very important reasons in which our transistors are working. So this is also called as a linear region. This is a basically active region is a linear region. A linear part is used. So a transistor while in this region act as a battery. So why it is very important? Because in active region our transistor is work as a amplifier. So this is the reason in which our transistor is work as a amplification. So what is the basic reason for work as a transistor as a amplifier? You have to emitter junction should be forward bias and collector junction should be reverse bias. So and what will happen? The active region is between the saturation region and cutoff. So now we will see here with this diagram we will explain it better way. In active state, collector current is beta times the base current. Means base current is your input current, okay, and IC is the collector current, and IC current is beta times of IB. Means there is a current gain, okay, and that is the active region. So you have to work out in this region. Means your current will be amplified in the active region, so it will work as an amplifier. Now saturation region. So when we talk about the saturation region, this is the region in which transistor tends to behave as a closed switch. Okay. So in this region, your transistor is working as a closed switch. So why it is working as a closed switch? Because both the junctions you have done the forward biasing. Okay. So if you are done the forward biasing, your emitter junction is forward biasing, your collector junction is forward biasing. So now what will happen here? Both, what will happens, we have to already seen, if any junction is forward bias it will offer a very low resistance, okay. So if both the junctions are forward bias, both are offering the very low resistance, means it will work as a short circuit. So just see here, it will work as a short circuit. So now what will happen? Collector and emitter terminals are shorted, and when these are shorted means collector current is equal to the emitter current. So this is the reason. Okay. So when our transistor operates in saturation region, it will work as a closed switch. So that is the basic reason. Both the junctions are now our cutoff region. So what will happen in our cutoff region? This is the region in which transistor tends to behave as a open switch. Means in saturation region and cutoff region, transistor will work as a closed switch and open switch. So both these regions are responsible for our working in a switch mode. Okay. So when both the junctions are reverse biased, your transistor is behave as a open switch. Okay. So now how transistor will work as a open switch? Since all the currents are zero because these are open switch. So just see here. Cutoff region है, both junctions are reverse bias. Reverse bias means it will offer a very high resistance, and if junctions are offer very high resistance, so what is the meaning of this? If junctions are very high resistance means it will work as a open circuit. Okay, and since your junctions are open circuit means B, C, and E. These three terminals are not interconnected, they are open. So now what will happen here? IB is equal to 0, IE is equal to 0, and IC is equal to. So three currents are equal to 0. Now we will switch to the configuration. So what type of so at present we have seen in basic reasons in which our transistors work out. Now we have to see that transistor is a three terminal device. So since our transistor is a three terminal device, so what will happen here? Three terminals, and you have to make a amplifier. What type of uses of your transistor in your external circuitry? You have three terminals. So when you have to make a input circuit and when you have to make a output circuit, your one terminal should be common. So if your one terminal should be common, so according to that we have make a three configuration of our transistor. So one thing is the common base configuration, common emitter configuration, and common collector configuration. In every configuration, it is remember that your emitter junction should be forward bias and your collector junction should be reverse bias. So this is the point which you have to keep in mind. So now one by one we will see what about the common base configuration. So as you have to know, common base means this is also called as a grounded base configuration, and base connection is common in both the input and output circuit. So now what will happen? Input current flowing into the emitter is quite large, as it's sum of both the base and collector current. So respectively, there is we have seen that current gain is equal to 1 or approximate equal to unity. Is slightly it will attenuate also. So this is the basic circuit you can see here. This is the base terminal and it is common to the input circuit, and this base terminal is common to the output circuit. There is an internal resistance RIN and this is the load resistance RL. You have to apply a input signal VIN to the input terminal, and you have to receive the V output voltage at the output terminal. There is sudden DC voltage applied for proper biasing of your terminal. So now what will happens here? We will see here what type of we have to input and output. So how you have to see what type of input you have to given. You will receive at the output in phase signal. Means your amplifier is working as a non-inverting voltage amplifier in the common base configuration. So in common base configuration, VIN and V output both are in phase circuits, and this type of transistor arrangement is not very common due to its high gain voltage. So it will provide us a very high gain at the output side. Input characteristics of a forward bias diode and output present a. So what will happen here? Input characteristic and output characteristic. So we will again see the input and output graph in our next slide. So at present we will see what about the current gain. So current gain is called as a alpha, and that is equal to IC upon IE, that is equal to collector current and the emitter current ratio of, and RL and RIN is the resistance gain. So the common base circuit is generally only used in single stage amplifier. So what will happen? Generally it is used in single stage amplifier circuit, जैसे कि you have to require in radio frequency ranges, microphone pre-amplifier, and it's very good high frequency response. So since it offer a very good high frequency response, so that is generally used in communication applications. So common base circuit where you have to require the proper voltage gain. So how you can calculate the value of alpha? That is equal to V output upon V input. So what about the V output? That is equal to collector current into the load resistance, and V input, that is the emitter current into the internal resistance. Now another configuration that is called as a common emitter configuration. Okay, so now we will move here. Common emitter means, as the name suggests, emitter terminal is common in the both the input circuit and the output circuit. So emitter current is common hai. So now what will you have to always emitter junction should be forward bias, and collector junction, it is a basic note, as I have to see that this condition we have to fulfill. So flow of electron is controlled in the same manner. So what will happen? The input current is the base current and output current will be the IC. We will see in this diagram. Just see here. The amplification factor will be we call the. So what is the amplification factor beta? That is the change in collector current to the change in base current del IP. So that is called as a beta. So any small change in the base current will result in the larger current in the collector circuit. Okay. So alpha is equal to IC upon IE, and when we are talking about the beta, that is equal to IC upon IB. So you can also take the relationship between these two by changing the parameter in another terms, and that is, if you are talking about the alpha, so that is equal to beta upon beta plus 1. And if you are talking about the beta, so that is in terms of alpha, so alpha upon 1 minus alpha. So both the parameters can be converted in the each other terms. Now, third is the collector, common collector configuration. So, common collector, that is also grounded collector, grounded ammeter, grounded base configuration. Here, collector is common to the both the input circuit and output circuit. So, collector terminal is common points. So, input signal is connected directly to the base terminal, and output is taken across the ammeter terminal. Because at this time, load is connected to the ammeter load. So this type of configuration is known as a voltage follower or ammeter follower. Means what type of input you have to given to the input side, same signal will be received at the output side. Matlab, what will happen here? There is only a thing that impedance matching application. So ammeter follower या common collector configuration is useful only for impedance matching applications, and it's a very high input impedance. Means why? Because its input impedance is very high and output impedance is very low, so it is better work as a ammeter follower or impedance matching purpose, not for amplification purpose. So generally we are not using this as a amplification purpose. So this is the basic rule. Alpha, what is the alpha in terms of beta and beta in terms of alpha, and that is the basic relationship between these two. So I can also see this is the general characteristics of different transistor configuration. So now what will happen if we are talking about the input impedance in common base, common collector and common ammeter. So you can see input impedance is very low in common base, medium in common ammeter, and high in common collector. So common collector impedance is high. If you are talking about the output impedance is very high in common base, common is a high also, and very low in common collector. If you are talking about the phase shifts, so in common base configuration, input and output voltage are at 0 degree phase shifting. But if you are talking about the common ammeter configuration, input and output voltage, okay, that are 180 degree out of phase. So this is the reason when common base configuration is called as a non-inverting amplifier, and common ammeter configuration is called as a inverting amplifier, and common collector is again 0 degree phase shifting. So there is no phase change in input and output voltage. If you are talking about the voltage gain and current gain, so now what will happen here? Common base gain is very high, common base voltage gain high, common ammeter medium, common collector voltage gain is low. Reverse will happen in current gain, common base current gain is low, medium, and it will be high. So if you are talking about the power gain, so it will see here ki power gain of common base is low, common ammeter is very high, and common collector is medium. So for high power amplification, we are using the common ammeter configuration. This diagram is also so with the waveforms that if you are applying the low amplitude signal, after large amplification, you can receive at the output. This is the common ammeter. If you are taking as the common ammeter configuration, because ammeter terminal is common, this is the common collector. No change in amplitude of your signal means gain is even, no amplification in voltage gain, that is work as a impedance matching, and there is a slight amplification at the terminal in common base configuration. So that is basically used in communication purpose. So now what will happen is, so there are the different parameters through which we can compare our basic properties of our signals. Now we have seen the common ammeter, NPN transistor. So we have seen different configurations, different reasons. So now here we will see only the one common ammeter configuration in detail. So now what will happen? You can see here there is a input supply, there is a resistance, there is a common ammeter configuration, there is a collector resistance, there is a, again we have to add a supply for proper biasing. So now what will happen here? You have to done the ammeter junction as a forward bias, and you have done the collector junction as a reverse bias as the criteria we have to fill. So now you can see here the input characteristics here. So now what will happen? This is the shape. So in input characteristic, what you have to done, you have the graph between VBE and IB. So what is the VBE? This is the input voltage what you have to apply and what type of current you are achieving. But that particular conditions, what you have to do, we have to take the VC at a constant value, and then you can make a graph between these. So this is the input characteristic. It is just like a PN junction volt ampere characteristics. If you are talking about the output characteristics, so that is the basically reason. This is the output characteristics of graph. But you have to take you have to plot the graph between collector current and the VCE, collector to emitter voltage, because your emitter current is common. And now what will happens, you have to put the IB base value at a base current at the 0 or any other value. So at the particular time graph period, you have to make that constant value. So what you have to see, there is a saturation region, there is a active region, and there is a cutoff region. So when we are plotting the output characteristic of a graph, so we can achieve, so our active region is between the saturation region and cutoff region, as we have to see in further. So this is the basic plotting of our common emitter transistor. Now we will again see this common emitter is also work as an amplifier. So as we have to know what is the basic criteria or conditions when our transistor is working as an amplifier. So we have to remember, we have to keep in mind always, because it is a very important characteristic. So transistor is always working in active region. So okay, what? So what type of arrangement you have to done? First of all, you have to done the proper biasing by applying the DC voltage. Okay. Now what will happens? Forward and reverse biasing is done. So what is the basic criteria of transistor work as amplifier? It will be work in the active region. So you have to done the forward and reverse biasing. It's okay. Now what will happen? There are three modes. So take a active region we will choose here. So this is again revise what is the criteria of your basically different reasons in which. So active region is again we have to see in active region what will happens. You have to take this criteria in mind. This is also a linear region. Okay. And your emitter junction should be forward bias and your collector junction should be reverse bias. At that particular transistor is work as a, so this is the criteria in which what will happens, it is beta times of IB, as we have to previously see. That is the criteria. So now so what will happens, you have to apply a very weak signal at the input circuit, and after amplification it will receive at the output by after amplification. So that is all the things which we have to told you. So this is the circuit diagram. This is the simple input signal, but you have to apply it, and after amplification, we will receive this signal at the load resistance R. So I think it will also clear to you what type of functioning is happening here. That is the biasing. You have to done the proper biasing. By using this biasing, what you have to happen, you can maintain your ammeter to base voltage in the forward bias, and base to collector current in the reverse bias. So this circuitry will be applicable. You have given a very small signals, and these signal will be after amplification you can receive at the load resistance R. So that is the same thing, but we have to told you, you have to keep in mind very small bit signals you are applying VEE, that is used for the proper biasing. Okay. If you are there is any example, suppose you have change of zero point 0.1 volt in the input signal. So what type of amplification or how much amount of amplification is done by your common emitter amplifier? So what is the basic role? If you have the very small change in your input signal, okay, that is the IB current. Suppose zero point 0.1 volt or change of 1 milliampere in emitter current, your input circuit has a very low resistance. So what will happens, your output, your collector current, because of there is a large change in your collector terminal, because there is the load resistance of very high value. So that reflection of your voltage will be very high, means zero point 0.1 volt change in input signal will be amplified into the 10 volt in the collector. So zero point 0.1 volt, zero point 0.1 volt change can be amplified to the 10 volt. So this is a very large amplification factor. Just we have to see in the common emitter. So this is generally a, so now what will happens here, input resistance. So you, what is the input resistance is low, forward biasing, output resistance is high, reverse biasing. This is the basic criteria. Change in VB upon change in IB, so that is called the RI. So that is a basically analytical behavior of our transistor. What about the happens to your input resistance? Now we can also output resistance. So that is also depend what type of particular conditions you have to apply. So now here collector current will be the very high in this due to the reverse biasing of that. So output current, that is the del VC upon the del IC. So that is the basically based on that particular part. Now we will switch to the effective collector load. So what is the effective collector load? If you are connecting your single stage amplifier with the multi-stage, means one. If you are connecting 2 or 3 transistors parallel. So what about your effective collector load? Your effective collector load is the parallel combination of output resistance RC of the basically our जो collector ammeter circuit plus whatever type of load you are applying at the output. So that is a multi-stage, so that is a cascaded combinations. So at that particular time there will be the effective load will be the working, and at that particular RAC, that is equal to RC parallel to R0. So that is basically the remaining at that particular part. So effective load RAC, that is equal to RC parallel to R0. And when we are in case of single stage, there is nothing, load is equal to clearly equal to R0, effective load parallel combination of R0 and R1. Okay, and these effective collector load is further transferred to your multi-stage amplifier. What about the current gain? So that is basically a change in input current. Basically, if we are talking about the current gain beta, so that is equal to ratio of change in collector current to the change in base current. So that is a beta. So that is a different. If we are talking about the voltage gain, so that is also change in output voltage upon the change in input voltage. So these are the parameters in which we can talking about. Now we will switch to the switch. So there are two major applications of our transistor. One is work as a amplifier and another work is the work as a switch. So now what about the switch? If you are talking about the switch, so when you are using our transistor as a AC signal amplifier, the transistor base biasing voltage is applied in such way active region. But when you have to want your transistor work in a what type of working in a switch, so what you have to done, you have to operate your transistor in a on and off mode. Okay, so one your transistor will be on and one your transistor will be off. So there are two types of regions we are using, that is the saturation region and cutoff region. So what will happens in your basically transistors switches can be used to switch a low voltage DC devices, LEDs on off, or so many things. So there are so many points. So just you can see here, it will work as a switch, open switch. Okay, and this is the closed. So that is the reason how your transistor will work as it. Once you have to short, and once when you have done the forward bias both the junction, it will work as a closed circuit. When you reverse bias both the junction, it will work as a open circuit. So this is a basic diagram in which our transistors are working. So you can see here open and closed circuit. So transistor is a very basic part of our electronic circuit. When you want to make a oscillator, you want to make a amplifier, cascaded amplifier, so many applications. If you want to design a op amp, when you want to working on a 555 IC, so in everywhere the basic element which you have to require is a transistor. So transistor is a very important device in our electronics and circuitry part. Without transistor, it is impossible to assume our electronic devices. So in this complete whole process, what type of features we have to study? First of all, we have to focus on the basic construction part of our transistor. What type of construction features? Okay, construction features means width of base, width of collector, width of ammeter, amount of doping, what amount of doping you have to choose in base, what amount of doping you have to choose in collector. So this is a basic construction features which we have to keep in mind when we are designing a transistor. Now another part is biasing. So again you have to done such a biasing because you want to work your transistor in a different applications. So when you are designing your transistor in different application, so first thing is there is a three regions: active region, saturation region, and cutoff regions. So for proper working of these three regions, you have to done the different types of biasing in our transistor. Your transistor is also working in a different configuration because you have a three terminals, and according to that three terminals, you have to work out. Okay, how you have to work out? You have to make a common terminal, and then you have to make a amplifier. So or is it okay every in three configuration your transistor is work as an amplifier? No, because there is a different properties, and we have make a comparative table. Okay, when it is how it will work. So when it is work as a common base, it's okay. Current gain is high, voltage gain is normal. But when it work as a common collector, so property in common collector is different. What will happens in common collector? It will there is a high input impedance and low output impedance. So it is a very good for your impedance purpose for buffer application. So generally our common collector terminal is work as a buffer amplifier in our electronic circuitry. So it is also a very important applications. Without common collector configuration is just a emitter follower. There is no if you have to require a voltage gain equal to 1, so always at that particular time period you have to require common collector configuration, or it is also called as a emitter follower configuration or impedance matching. It is basically used for a impedance matching. Now one thing is common emitter. It is also a very important, and it is generally offer the power gain. So power gain is very high of common emitter amplifier. So in that particular cases where you have to increase your power so high, so at that particular time you have to use your basic property of common emitter amplifier. So there are three configuration: common collector, common emitter, and all properties according to comparative chart of your all properties. We can make the applications in different areas. So here we can see how much important is transistor for us. Now we will switch to the little bit some objective questions. So you can also see here we have also told you the depletion layer, role of depletion, number of depletion layer transistor. So how you can conceptually think about this base of transistor. So what is the base of transistor and what type of doping we have to required in our base of transistor. So you have to know what type of doping in emitter section, what type of doping in collector section, why is there is difference in width of all these. So all these concepts based on that we have to suppose the biggest size, why we are make the biggest size. This is also a conceptual question. I have also told you in our lecture, so I think you have to clear in PNP transistor current carrier. So you have to know if you are choosing the different materials, PNP and NPN. Okay, are you getting my point? So you have to know what type of biasing you have to apply and what type of current carrier or charge carriers will be in your transistor. So that is the reason you can design it. Now collector of a transistor doping. What is the role of doping in different parts of your transistor? So it is a very important point in our transistor. Doping is a very important play role in our manufacturing of our transistor. So you have to know the what is the base current. If you are talking about the base current, so how much part of our base current is consumed or how much part of our base current is wastage. So why we are talking is as a base current as a wasted, because our basic purpose is कि we want to reach out. Okay, so our emitter terminal, what will happen there? Current will start to flow, and it is our purpose. We want to complete current will reach out to the collector terminal because we want to done the amplification. If current will be wastage here and there, so what will happen? Your amplification factor will be reduces. So this is the reason ki base current should be not much larger. So you have to know again not larger. So what is the basic percentage of that particular? What about the which junction is forward bias? So you know when you have to work out as a amplifier. So there are different junctions, different biasing. So you have to remember what type of biasing is used for amplification And what type of biasing you have to use for a when transistor is work as a closed switch. So when transistor is work as a closed switch, so there are two conditions: transistor is work as a closed switch or transistor is work as a open switch. Okay, so this is the criteria. Then you can see in this way, yes, this is the reason where transistor is work as a closed switch and transistor is work as a you have to know the input impedance of transistor. So this is a general characteristic. So when you have to work out in transistor in different categories, so that criteria of input impedance will be slightly varied. But if you are talking about the general conditions, your input impedance of transistor will be how much, and most of the majority carriers from what will happens, ओके कहाँ पर मेजोरिटी कैरियर्स ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा मेजोरिटी कैरियर्स कहाँ पर फॉर्म हो रहे हैं. ओके, you have to know also this thing. So I think it will be clear to you what about the transistor and what is the role of transistor in our electronics and communication part. So it is a very important device for us